Yes. That she did. You know, also just heard some ways. It's a quick computer. It's actually just. Would everyone please rise for the pledge and remain standing for the land acknowledgement statement? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The Salamanca City Central School District acknowledges the homeland of the Another, the people of the Great Hill, the Seneca people on whose ancestral and modern day land Salamanca School now stands and whose water we enjoy. We stand with all indigenous peoples in their resolve to remain connected to their land. While we cannot undo what has been done, it is the goal of the Salamanca City Central School District to recognize the history and make improvements that will benefit the next 7 generations of indigenous students. We have any changes to the agenda? Yes, there are. Okay, so we have added an executive session at the beginning of the agenda. Item 8A, we added Sabrina Manchester, Saturday, and her spoken meeting. 10A, we removed Heather Zoner, who was removed from a coaching application. 10A, we corrected the typographical error, and 10B, we added contract just in the backup. And in 10E, we added an agreement in the backup as well. Yeah, change. We also have a change to item 9E, oh, D. 9D to the lodging cost from $450 to $650 per night plus resort. All right, then with that, I need a motion to approve the agenda. Motion. Right. Motion by Gary, second by Dale. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Same, motion carried. This time I'm going to do that. Mr. Early is speechless. All right, we need a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of personnel. Motion by Tad. Second by Dale, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Same, motion carried. Yeah, on. Favorite food. I just asked everyone their favorite food. We got to leave by then we had to stop. Yeah. Hey. Yeah, we need to look at this. That's right. Or. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so for the board resolution from last month, we have a vote coming up on December 17th. The public vote on the purchase or acquisition of essentially 3 parcels of property. One is at on Route 353, and the other is on the corner of Front and Center. So what I wanted to do is just provide a brief overview of sort of what we're looking at and why. I know that the early voting or the absentee voting information has gone out because I've had a couple phone calls from individuals who have asked very similar questions. So hopefully tonight I will answer those questions for everyone. But at the end, if you have a question that you would like answered, I am more than happy to answer. So December 16th is our property purchase vote. And what is it that we are voting on? There are essentially 2 parcels of property. This one, which is in the kindergarten-esque sketched red, which is on Route 353. It is approximately 40 acres, and the cost is $500,000. A couple pieces of information about this property. One, it is one of the largest remaining properties in the district with regard to the size. So that is exceptionally attractive to us because you will see that there are opportunities for us to provide some larger items for the district and the residents. The other is that this area is also exceptionally flat, meaning the site prep and work that goes into it is significantly reduced because pretty much, there are some flat spaces in the district, but much of it is hills, valleys. So the location of this, which is about 1.2 miles from the Iroquois campus, the fact that it is flat and the fact that it is 40 contiguous acres makes this very appealing. The second property that we're looking at is on the corner of Front and Center. This is essentially 2 parcels, the size of which is when together is 109 feet by 158 feet, and the proposed purchase price is $55,000. One of the reasons that this is very attractive, go ahead to the next slide, is because the area in blue are properties that we already own. So this continues our ability to increase the footprint of the Iroquois campus and is likely the future site of a hydroponic and agriculture learning center. So outdoor classroom space along with and essentially an indoor hydroponic facility, which is directly across the street, providing easy access to our students and for the community, as well as ties directly into one of our academies or CTE tracks that are being started at the high school. Let's see. So and I put in red here the word possible. So what are the possible opportunities for the property at 353? If you take a look up at the top, you will see the orange area. That is basically a field house without a roof. So one of the topics that has brought up consistently is the need for more athletic space, particularly in inclement weather. So we know that here in Western New York, the vast majority of our academic year, we are unable to really utilize a lot of the athletic fields that we have outside. By placing a field house, we can continue to have practices and continue opportunities for the community to access a field. So what is sort of proposed right there is half of a football field or half of a lacrosse field, depending upon what your favorite sport is, as well as 2 tennis courts, and then a track, which is about 1/8 of a mile track around the outside. And then below that in orange would be a community and school fitness center. And again, we're saying this is not part of the vote. This is just a possible opportunity if we purchase this property. Also, what can fit on this property is you'll see a lacrosse and soccer field, 2 baseball or softball fields. Those would, if we go in that direction, likely just be natural grass because we already have turf facilities. It just increases the opportunities. What else could go on here? We could put an ice rink on here. We could put housing for either the community or for staff members. So the reason I say that that's possible is because I want to make sure we're clear. This vote is only on the purchase of the property. But if we don't purchase the property, none of those things are possible. So what this does is it allows us the opportunity to meet with community members, assess needs, and move forward with any of those possibilities, as well as whatever else people can dream up and we determine as needs. I do want to focus a little bit about simply athletic space, because one of the individuals that I talked with today was crystal clear in saying, you know, we have beautiful facilities. She says they're terrific. Don't we have enough? Like, what do we need to spend $500,000 on property and then purchase more facilities for? So this is a little bit of what the winter season looks like. You will see that those are our sports that are there. There are between 9 and 10 teams utilizing our interior spaces on both of our campuses, as well as 3 community. So that is between 12 and 13 teams that 5 to 6 days a week are utilizing our indoor spaces. And when I say our indoor spaces, if you hit the next slide, you will see that it is pretty much every single indoor space, including the cafeteria and the maker space at Prospect, our multi-purpose room at Seneca, which is designed to be a multi-purpose room, but when you fill that room with wrestling mats and wrestlers, it gets hot and tight and kind of smelly, but we'll leave that part off. But, you know, it's tight in there. We have cheerleaders that are in the halls. And I want to draw your note at the bottom that this isn't just from 3 to 5 every day. All of those facilities are utilized 5 days a week from 3 to 7 p.m. And if there are game days, until 9 p.m. On weekdays. So we have seen an increase in the simple number of individuals participating in athletics. We have seen an increase in the number of opportunities and offerings in athletics, particularly women's athletics. So this does precipitate a bit of a need to extend our footprint to be able to accommodate this in a reasonable amount of time. And yes, you know, we're just like every other district in that varsity athletes are, you know, at practices until 7, 8, or 9 o'clock at night. But I just want, you know, we just need to recognize the stress and time commitments that particularly our athletes are committing, right? They're going to school for 7 or 8 hours a day. Then they might wait 2 hours to get to practice. Then they're practicing 2 more hours, right? That's an 11 or 12 hour day for a 15, 16, 17-year-old. That's a lot of time, right? So I'm just, you know, saying when we look at that, it's important for us to recognize that we have our athletes 5 and sometimes 6 days a week who are putting in 12-hour days. And that's a lot. And by having this other alternate place, it provides a better opportunity, more access, and potentially reduces some of the time that they might have to be on campus. Okay, next question. All right, where in fact is the money coming from? So the total cost of this is $555,000. all of which is cash that we have in hand in reserves. So I want to make sure we all recognize that this is not being bonded. It is money that we have set aside, and will have zero tax increase for our community members. And I want to also just say, okay, because when we take properties off the tax rolls, people can make the argument that there is in fact a tax implication. Because I don't want there to be any perception that we're not being entirely transparent. The two properties that are on the corner of Front and Center are currently not taxable properties. So for school taxes and city taxes, there is zero implication. The property on 353, yes, the total taxes for district, town, and county are $836 per year. So what does that look like? If that comes off of the tax rolls, the county is short, I believe, $500. The town about $300, and I think the district, I think it's $46. If I factor that out, there are approximately 35,000 properties in Cat County. Let's kick off 5,000 in the city of Salamanca that are maybe not taxed. If I take that $836 and divide it by 30,000, it comes out to 3 cents a year is the actual tax implication that taking that off the tax roll will have. So I just want everybody to sort of be on the same page and understand, because many times people are saying you keep taking properties off the tax rolls. That is true, but I also want people to recognize what that actually factors into, which in this case is about 3 to 4 cents per year. And we believe that if we were to put a field house there, the value to the community is far offset by that, as well as the access for community members to a high quality fitness center and indoor facilities for our students. All right. Last slide. Questions? How can I help? Awesome. I'll stop right there. Okay. Thank you very much.
Good job.
Right. We will move on to our public communications. Don't want to sign in this week. No. We will move on to our board message. I'm gonna take this away.
You say one more for updates.
Right.
I'm actually doing my job now.
Good.
I got these projects that are on the burner currently. Currently trying to make a project with some students about a science pool team. I'm gonna guarantee that to you guys, funding for that. Hoping I can bring that to you next December's meeting. I hope we do, because I don't want to sit here just nodding at you guys the next 2 hours next time. I actually want to talk. But yeah, that's on the burner currently, and that's all I have to say. I hope other than the whole jabber on about, I hope I can use this position to its fullest. Thank you.
What was that? National
Science bowl team.
Yeah.
What's that?
National Science Bowl Team is a national competition that are using STEAM and STEM ideas and putting them into practice. They are given problems to solve that kind of like a Super Bowl thing. They get given problems to solve, and they use their pre-established knowledge and given items or information to solve these problems. Another thing that's also like on the back burner to that is a environmental thought. I can't say it correctly, but it's like an environment verified. If you merge the 2 words, I can't say it correctly, so I'm not even gonna try. Environment. Yeah, it's that. Instead of like say the well, that is like a worldwide thing. That's on the back burner because we don't have enough people to build a team for that yet, but they can go to places and get given environmental problems and try to solve them and that sort of thing. So that's my hope, to get the team for that and a national science bowl team, but that is on the back burner currently for the national science bowl team because we have enough people to field a team. Yeah.
That's
I hope to bring that to you next December. Don't hold my words. Come on, it's right now.
To get on the agenda.
Okay. Good job. Thanks for doing my job. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Karen, you want to start?
Sure. I don't know if you guys saw the paper or not, but we received another $50,000 award for to continue our gardening program. That was awesome. And I would like to thank several people. One, the entire school district for doing 2 weeks of food drive for our students, and there was a ton of stuff collected, which is amazing. And then secondly, I'd like to thank the entire admin team for donating the goods, and John Haley was not here tonight for cooking, and the 5 or 6 of you that went and delivered soup last Saturday, I think it was, out to the community. So thank you for doing that, and it was amazing. So that's all I have.
Okay.
I'm sure. Yeah, I just wanted to second what Sharon said to the entire admin team about the first time use of the food truck. It was serving 153 bowls of soup to the community. That was, thank you for that. Recognize our students and staff that participated in Into the Woods musical over the weekends. It's always great to see our students in a different capacity outside of academics. Parent teacher conferences at all 3 buildings were a highlight and successful. Lots of parents came out to meet the teachers, and that's great. We're already 3 weeks into quarter 2. It's hard to believe. I want to highlight the Indigenous Youth Council put out an excellent Kids Week in recognition of Native American Heritage Month. And a big thank you to the Seneca Intermediate Phys Ed teacher, Keith Jones, who put out a really fun turkey trot yesterday with all the different grade levels. And a lot of our admin team participated. I got 4 miles in yesterday with the kids. It was a lot of fun. Did a great job. And as always, just a thank you to everybody as we go, on the Thanksgiving break. I just want to say thank you for all of the hard work and dedication to our students and community. Thank you.
Okay. Move on to board message. Chris, you want to start?
Oh, yeah, sure. Those are great updates, and I appreciate that, the work everybody's doing. It's nice to see everyone here tonight. I want to echo some of the similar comments. I was able to, thanks to Vice President Terry John for reminding me about the Woods during the musical. I was able to get over there with my son, and well, some of us others I seen that I thought the kids did a great job, and I thought that was very nice to go to, and I definitely look forward to going to some more of those events. As we obviously now in quarter 2, hope everybody had a good first quarter of the kids, and I know we wrapped up our last parent teacher conference, I think it was last week, and then today with my oldest. So hope those all went well for all the families and all the teachers, and everybody doing a great job, and the grades are good. And I wanted to, well, on the turkey trot, I wanted to give a shout out. I don't do this very often, but I wanted to shout out my son, who took, I think for his grade, he took 4 in that. So I thought that was really cool. I was really proud of him for doing that. My mom happened to be at the facility and caught a video of him running, and I was like, what the heck, and I thought that was awesome. And he did a wonderful, yeah, he did a mile. I got it to him, and then also to my little brother Carlton Farmer III, I'm making the top 10 for his senior class, in addition to playing basketball. So I want to give a shout out to my couple family members, as well as to the other students that made the top 10 and that are doing a great job. And last thing, I'm excited for girls, and I think girls start next week, right? Varsity, JV varsity basketball. What's that?
Girls on the 2nd, boys on the 4th.
2nd and 4th, and there's my son phone, but no, I'm excited to get out and support our girls, boys, sports teams, try to make it out as many as possible, and keep doing my part to support and be here for anyone I can. So, but thank you very much.
Yep. Casey? I tuned into the junior play. So I kind of felt, well, it intrigued me when everybody was here, they did that one set. So I wanted to go and see that stage.
thoroughly enjoyed myself. I'm looking forward to the winter middle school concert that's going on in December. All of the kids did a great job. We played and started the new semester. I hope everybody did well last semester. It's going to continue to do well. So that's it.
Thank you.
I just want to thank everybody for coming out today. It's been a while. We had a meeting, it's the way the holidays were, we're going forth upon that, but yeah, it's amazing how fast I didn't remember school going that fast at all, didn't it? And now that I'm on the board, it seems just time flies and we're wrapping up sports season, starting new sports seasons, we're already into the quarter, but all with all that, just want to tell everybody just have the holidays are here before we know it. It'll be a new year. And be safe and enjoy Thanksgiving.
Thanks.
Yeah, same thing. I wanna wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Coming up very soon. And it looks like starting tomorrow, the weather's going to change for the roof here. So please dump off those winter driving skills and be safe.
Thank you all. Thank the students for being here. Thank all of our staff and everybody who works with this district for what you guys do. We don't go a day forward without how you guys and the hard work you guys put in. It's appreciated. So thank you all. Into the Woods. Great program again. I think I've been to about the last 8 different drama productions. They're always awesome. Those kids do such a great job. I love seeing it and I can't wait for the next one. If you missed it, you just don't know what you're missing, you know? But on that note too, that's one of the things that we're supposed to be doing here too. All of us is encouraging these kids, whether you know anybody in those events or not, you know, showing up and encouraging them. You know, that's the stuff that really gets noticed, and especially by the parents who are always in the audience, seeing any of our district staff or any of us on the board, you know, when we go to these events to support them. It's awesome to see. It's a given that we're all going to be at a football game. It's a given that we're going to be at a basketball game, but it's not necessarily a given yet that we're all going to be there to support these kids in their play, in the drama productions. And that's something that I advocate for Cage. We should all go there. It's awesome. When we think about like what these students are doing, you know, I always talk about student athletes, you know, and I'm a coach too, so I always tell them you're a student first, you're an athlete second. But when we're talking about students, you think about what drama does. You know, that is a very mental and rigorous thing they're doing. You know, they have to memorize their lines, they have to memorize their movements, they have to remember all these cues. It takes a lot to get that done. And you see some of the leads in these productions, they have a lot to memorize. They have a lot to rehearse, they have a lot to do, and they put a lot of time into it. You heard Dr. Beeler talk about 2-hour practices for the sports teams, while some of these kids had 3-hour practices for the drama production. But we're talking middle school. We're talking 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th graders. That is amazing. They put in that time and they do these productions. You know, so that's one of the things that I wanted to give a shout out to all of our staff who helped support that, all the kids who joined, and everybody who went to go and support them during the events. That was awesome to see. There was pretty good crowds, and those kids did an amazing job. On the other side of it, I wish our audio system was firing at top notch. You know, one of the things that, and I'm sure everyone who was there noticed that there was some microphone issues. You know, and I know that's probably a little bit more in the human element, people turning the mics on or off. But if we can go and build all these great sports facilities, why can't we invest in a little better technology so these kids don't have microphone issues? You know, that's just one of those little things that I notice. And of course, I'm going to be critical of it because I'm on the board. And these are one of the things that is part of our responsibilities to make sure that these kids have everything they need. And when they have these technical issues, you can see it on their faces. Oh, so then they start their lines over. You know, so that's one of those things that I advocate with my colleagues. If it's anything we're going to be pushing for, let's get better technology. Whether it's if it's a human error, well, let's get more people to help the issue. Because when you have a play that size and there's 20 different kids who need microphones, well, if one person is controlling those microphones, that might be too much. So let's look at 4 people to control them. I don't know what the answer is right now, but I would advocate with my colleagues to say, let's do something to change that. There's a high school drama production in the spring. Hopefully, we can all agree that changes need to be made so they don't have those errors. Let's help these kids out. They're obviously passionate about it and you see it. I mean, there was great performances and you see these kids love what they do. So that's just one more plug for the government. It's not all about sports here. We got a lot of kids. There was, I think, 60 kids involved in this production. That's amazing. And it's only gonna continue. So again, my colleagues, that's something I think we need to talk about and really encourage. As far as moving on, as far as the property, you know, the possibilities are endless. I think Dr. Beeler putting that presentation together, it really is. When we first heard the potential for this property, the wheels start turning. You know, we start thinking about what can we do there? And I'm glad that you mentioned having a little bit of input. I already know there's a lot of programs that need extra space, especially now. You know, I mean, just personally, one of my ideas was, all right, if we're gonna build a field house, you know, we're backing right now, we're gym space. Because we've got so many teams vying for that gym space right now. You know, that's one of the things I think of, but it's just an idea. When you see that the color rendering ideas, that's what we're gonna be looking for is what ideas are out there and what's really gonna service the needs of this district and this community the best. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. I can't wait till we start that. Well, first, let's get it approved. Let's get it approved and then let's really get the wheels turning. Yeah, second market period. Hopefully all the kids are really buckling in because it is the holidays. You know, we can have a little bit of lax during the holidays, right? You know, short week this week. We got Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We come back and then we got a couple weeks and what? We're the big holidays. And we're out for 2 weeks, so just about, isn't it? Full 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, it's making sure that those kids are really buckling down and really paying attention and focusing on their studies. You know, we've already touched on the athletics part of it, but let's focus on the studies. Let's be that student, you know, let's be that good student. So make sure that you're buckling down to all the staff out there. Please provide the supports that they need. And if you need help, ask, you know, ask your partner, ask your co-teacher, ask the building administrators, ask the superintendent staff, and if need be, ask us. We're always willing to listen and hear what's going on out there. So the supports will be there. We just need to know what it is. So everybody buckle down and let's get you the holidays. And also, I guess, snow is coming. Hope everyone's excited. To me, that means ski club is gonna start soon. Can't wait. That's all I got. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Say. I'm just no. Congratulations to our Into the Woods production. Future best. Pretty excited for everybody. Just like Gary said, you know, there's a lot to do with this. That it's not just the practicing of performances, the designing of the sets, making the costumes, it's all the involvement that everybody had. Thank you for everybody that did have a hand in that performance. I agree with the technical issues. I mean, I've said it before, like if we have an issue, you know, say it. You just said it, you know, and that's what we're looking for. Is if we see something like that, that's how we're gonna try to correct the problem. Is if we know about it, right? And I do say that pretty much almost what's being, you know, we want to hear from the students or the staff or the community or our fellow board members. It doesn't matter, administrators. If there's something that you need to help make our school better, our programs better, we want to know it so that we can work to solve the problem. We like to think that we're the best, but we know that nobody's the best. You know, we can always strive to be the best, but we always are going to have obstacles on our way. So again, if you see something, you need something, say something so we can work to get it for you. The food truck. I was sitting at home and all of a sudden my kids come home and they've got soup and they're like, oh my God, did you see this? There's soup. I'm like, no. And they're like, have some soup. I said, okay. He said, yeah, the food truck's going all around. They had the route all mapped out where they were gonna be. And they were really excited. They went and got soup. The soup was delicious, by the way.
And I thought it was really nice that people got to get out and experience the food truck, and to get some free soup. So I love that. I thought that was nice that we were doing that. So good shout out there. It is the Thanksgiving holiday, and with that, I just want to say I'm thankful for being a part of this board and for all of the administrators and all of my fellow board members, all of you that are in the audience that are here tonight, helping to make our district better, great, for everything that we're doing. We always do, like I said, try, we're always striving to do better. And again, if you need something, just like Mr. John said, bring it to us so that we can help, because that's what we want to do is we want to make our kids successful. With that purchase of the property, there's so many different ideas that are out there. And it's going to be exciting to see like what can we do with that property. Knock on wood, that we will get that property so that we can develop it into something that's truly meaningful for not just our students, but the community in general to use. So that's their goal. And we want encouragement and we want participation from everybody on what they would like to see that property become. So with that, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Please be safe and happy and happy turkey. And with that,
Oh, thank you.
Dr. Neal.
Really, a lot has been said. I just want to draw your attention to an event that occurred at the end of October. On Thursday, the 30th, it was clear that the federal government was not going to fund the SNAP program. And a large number of our families and students rely on that program for food on a regular basis. So Thursday afternoon, I sent a note out to some folks in the county, the city, the Seneca Nation, who manage some of the opportunities for our community residents to get food, such as the soup kitchen, the food banks, our social workers and school liaisons, representatives from the city. And I said, here, listen, if there's any chance that you could stop by on Monday. So this is Thursday. I said Monday at 1:00. I'd like to just get everyone together and see how we can improve some of the efficiency of services that we're providing to residents here and determine what type of a scope and scale up we can do if this becomes a prolonged issue. I was expecting, maybe a couple people might be able to Zoom. But Monday at 1:00, 18 people came as representatives from the county, the city, the Seneca Nation, the Seneca Gaming Commission, and our school district. And all of which were, I'm going to sort of say, management level. So we had directors from the community action. We had was he the CEO for the gaming commission?
CEO and president of Seneca Gaming Corporation.
Right. We had representatives from the mayor's office. We had Mr. John from the treasurer's office. All of these individuals sat down, and when they came in, I'm like, okay, I had a mental sketch of what I was going to do, but I wasn't expecting like the actual important people to make time. And so we went through and I think, opened up some dialogue. And we learned several different things about sort of the little niches that each individual group was performing. And a couple takeaways from that, for example, one of which was the soup kitchen. Completely not funded by anyone. Relies entirely on donations and goes 5 days a week. Serves about 90 individuals who rely on that on a daily basis. So one of the quick things we did is, and I'm going to thank Karen for this, was, okay, maybe our district can add another day on. And as a result of that, we heard that last week, the Administrators Association donated food, donated time, so that they could deliver and increase the number say 20%, that sounds like a lot, but we essentially added on a Saturday, and provided 153 opportunities to get food out to the community. And to me, the really big takeaway from that was the willingness of people and influential and important people to take time out of their workday to sit down to determine how we can do things better for not just our students, but all the residents of Salamanca. And as we think about things that each one of us are thankful for, I'm thankful to have the opportunity to work in a place that places that much importance and value on helping each other. And I'm very proud of that. And I just wanted to express my gratitude to those individuals that came and took time. And I know that there were positive, very tangible outcomes, but also just that open line of communication that improved things across the board. Thank you.
Next, we'll move on to our consent agenda. We need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Dale, second by Carrie. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. We have no old business. Under new business, we have our affiliation agreement with the University of Pittsburgh and Brad. So we need a motion to approve, that agreement from October 14th, 2025 to October 14th, 2030.
Motion.
Motion by Tad,
Second.
second by Tracy. Are there any questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Item B is to create a special revenue fund for the class of 2028 Austin trip. So we need to, a motion to approve that special revenue fund.
Motion.
Motion by Dale,
Second.
second by Carrie. Are there any questions?
This something that, we do this every year, or like, is it for like a upcoming senior trip or something, or is there a special reason?
No, right? I mean, we do this as the classes sort of come to high school.
Yeah,
So, you know, this will be specific for the class of 2028.
okay.
I'm anticipating next year there'll probably be something similar for the class of 2029.
Thank you.
Questions? Then we have a motion by Dale, second by Carrie. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. We had a donation from the Jamestown, New York State Relief Society. There were different backpack, socks, personal hygiene, valued at $500. So, motion to approve the donation. And yep, so we just send it over. Sheesh.
Motion.
Motion by Kristen,
Second.
second by Tad. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Item D is hotel lodging cost. And that is a motion to amend the maximum amount of lodging, $650 a night cost resort fees and taxes for the board, superintendent, assistant superintendent. And that'll be effective as of November 25th, 2025. We need a motion to approve that resolution.
Motion.
Motion by Tracy.
Second.
Second by Dale. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Item E, we are declaring surplus of blue four-way plastic shelf charity. So we need a motion to approve those items as surplus. Motion by Tad, second by Carrie. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Item F is a certification of uncollected school taxes and our tax collector's report. So we need a motion to approve that certification and report. Motion by Dale. Second by Tracy. Are there any questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Item G, we are creating some positions, social worker, 2 social workers, a guidance counselor, psychologist, advisors, advanced learning specialist, and technical support specialist. So we need a motion to approve the creation of those positions.
Motion.
Motion by Kristen,
Second.
second by Carrie. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Item H, is there a substitute bus driver adding bonus program. And that is a $300 driving bonus that'll be paid quarterly. So we need a motion to approve, this new stipend.
Motion.
Motion by Tracy, second by Kristen. Are there any questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Item I, we have our confidential managerial and individual employment agreements, MOA. And that is to include the lunar New Year into their, paid days off to be consistent with all of their contracts. So we need a motion to approve the MOAs.
Motion.
Motion by Dale,
Second.
second by Tad. Are there any questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carried. Item J, we have our SSSO MOA. So we need a motion to approve those MOAs.
Motion.
Motion by Carrie, second by Dale. All in favor? Oops, I'm sorry, questions?
All right, so we saw one with a substitute bus driver and all this. So give us a rundown.
Sure, certainly. So, as with many districts, or I would almost say most districts, there is a shortage of bus drivers. We have continued to make improvements to the working conditions. But one thing that we have recognized is many times our monitors become bus drivers, and then our bus drivers will work for us, and then sometimes they actually turn into part of our instructional staff. So they end up leaving the bus garage, which is a good thing because, you know, we're helping we're progression. But what that means is we are consistently in need of additional bus drivers. So there are the daily runs, and then there are bus drivers who have the afternoon runs. And as I mentioned, with the increase in athletics, that means we're doing more travel after hours, and we need more bus drivers. Additionally, we have students who we transport all over New York, essentially, well, Western New York. We have multiple shuttle runs who go to Buffalo and Lackawanna to take students there, Olean, Jamestown, Genesee Valley. And these are all, many of which are special circumstances, but they take a dedicated bus driver or shuttle driver. So what we have done here is increase the bonus for those individuals who would take employment with us as a bus driver or a shuttle driver to $2,100, which is paid out over a year for a bus driver, and $1,200 for a shuttle driver. And that is really just to encourage individuals to start with us, and then we believe once they start with us, they will stay.
So let's talk some specifics, because this is a need that comes up every single year. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want to try to get the word out and get encouragement out there. So what type of license do you need for your shuttle driver?
All right, so you are going to need it's a CDL, so commercial driver license with a passenger endorsement to be a bus driver. You do not need that particular endorsement to be a shuttle driver. Let me just share a couple other pieces of information, because we have our own school here. So if anyone is interested in becoming a shuttle driver or a bus driver, you can start with us as a monitor. We will assist you in the process of acquiring your CDL, all the way from working on getting your permit to the driving time that's necessary to assisting you with the road test and getting certified as a bus driver. What else can I share about that? Oh, I can also tell you that I want to say within a matter of a few weeks, you will see some, I believe, billboards as well as some social media campaign that will be targeting individuals in this particular region. I wish Josie Hubbard has been assisting with this, and I'm gonna have her speak to this next month. She's out. Oh, Josie, are you actually on? I know she's really not feeling well. Oh, she is.
I am here, but my dogs are barking, so.
Oh, all right. I'm not sure if that means your actual dogs or if your feet are tired. So, either way, can you tell us a little bit about the media campaign that we're going to start with the bus drivers?
Yep, so we've been working with Seven Mountain Media, which is part of like the WPIG that you've heard of. And they do something called social fencing, where they target people with certain behaviors that we identify would be candidates for bus drivers. And then they guarantee us so many hits, views for the ads and so forth. We're still working out the details on what those characteristics are and going back and forth with that, but we're hoping in the next couple of weeks that goes live.
There you go. So we have some kind of, we have the traditional bonus, and then as Josie mentioned, we have a relatively new process of actually targeting individuals on their social media accounts with opportunities and advertisements for being a bus driver at Salamanca. It's actually, I think, pretty cool.
Awesome. What is our salary?
Josie, can you
Well,
help with that?
yeah. So we start them in the training program at 19. And then it depends if it's the shuttle or the driver. The shuttle license isn't quite as extensive, so that's a little bit lower. But then once they go to the driver, it's 19, and then they become part of the CBA annual raises, which right now for the bus drivers is pretty healthy.
So I also want to make a note that in Salamanca, a two-hour shifts, so that 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon. So 4 hours is considered full-time employment, and they receive all benefits, including retirement, but also health insurance and all of the other opportunities. So the total package, the $19 or $20 an hour really makes it sound like it's undervalued. But when you add in the benefits that come with each one of these positions, it really is a terrific opportunity.
Here's the fact that you mentioned that the district provides the training and.
Right.
And that's all, we incur those costs, like we pay for that. Wow, that's really.
Right.
Yeah, that needs to be definitely advised out there for sure. That's awesome. Thank you for doing this. Great.
Any other questions?
Bus drivers.
We do bus drivers. Great. All right, then we get a motion by Jerry, second by Dale, all in favor. Opposed, staying, carried. Item K is our standards workday and reporting resolutions. Dave. Okay, motion. Motion by Tracy, seconded by Ted. Second by Tad. Are there any questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Item 10 is our personnel consent agenda. And then item 10B, a motion to approve personnel action number 2. Extend probation. Or that is, I'm sorry. Item C, we need a motion to approve the items listed in section 10A and section 10B. Motion. Second. Second, boy. Help me out there, guys. Ted? Yeah. Tracy, there it is. All right, I'll give it to Tracy. Second with Ted. So we cut out, motion by Tracy, second by Ted, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, motion carried. You please.
Okay, just so that we're all on the same page, I do this every time that there is a extended probation. This is in no way a reflection on the performance of these individuals. Sometimes people will draw a connection between, why their probation was extended. This is typically due to leaves of absences in one form or another, so I don't want anyone to think that there is any adverse actions being taken with these individuals. This is simply procedural to ensure compliance.
Thank you.
All right, and next, we have our. We have a contract for our secretary to the superintendent and the district clerk. So that contract is gonna go from November 17th, 2025 to June 30th of 2027. And we need a motion to approve that contract and the amendments to the included conditions. Motion by Dale. Second. Second by Ted. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Carried. Item E, you are welcome back, right?
Yeah.
It's okay. Item E, we have a separation and resignation, so we need a motion to approve the separation agreement dated November 25th, 2025. Motion by Christie.
Second.
Second by Dale. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carried. And now we'll introduce
All right, terrific.
staff.
Let's see.
I, not exactly, a colleague came to us, actually, at the PA 2 years ago, and coach and this, has continued to excel in his progression in his career. So I think that, previously, but he's now on the tenure track, so just a congratulations to him and continuing to do a great job with us in many facets.
Let's go.
Well, thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you.
That's as good as it's gonna get.
Yep.
So I will take a moment here to introduce Mrs. Wilt. She is the new secretary to the superintendent and board clerk. A little bit of background. So when this position was posted, there were 39 applicants, which is considerable, and a wide range of experience for all of those individuals. One of the things that Ms. Wilt had was her experience in a similar role at St. Bonaventure University, and most recently at American Intercontinental University, where she worked essentially in a very parallel role, except at the higher education level. I want to thank, let's see, Mrs. Bassini, Mr. Colton, and Mr. McGarrett for being part of the interview team, and I'll give you an opportunity if there's anything you want to say. But during that process, she separated herself from the other candidates, and I would say by her level of professionalism, her willingness to evaluate systems and come up with processes to improve them. She gave examples of that. So we are very pleased to have her on board, and I'll introduce her right now. Mrs. Wilt, welcome. Aaron, Dale, Tracy, anything you want to know?
I think it's well.
All right, great.
I just want to say I'm very grateful for the opportunity to work with Dr. Beeler and the team, and I look forward to contributing to your district's mission.
Oh, thank you. You didn't even finish for a speech.
Yeah, it's got big sheets.
He's a great teacher.
That's good. We're cracking the lip. All right, we will move on to our thank you letter.
There you go.
Okay, dear members of the Board of Education, I want to express my sincere gratitude for approving the tenure appointment. It's truly an honor to continue serving the Salamanca community as a proud warrior. Thank you for the confidence you have placed in me and for all that you do to support our staff and students. With gratitude, thank you. It's always nice to hear. Item B, we have an enrollment. update, we have our transportation report, capital projects. And then, of course, we have our upcoming events. Which. We don't have anything except for Thanksgiving, so. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, what's our next board meeting for us? I'm sure it's December 16th. And don't forget, to come out and vote on December 16th.
We
Try
have
and keep it simple. Try and keep it simple.
Up there.
IPP forum on 4.
Well, to be honest with you, we have just changed that to the 11th. The 4th is the Seneca Nation, birthday, so.
So IPP forum changes to December 11th.
Okay. Please come out and vote for the 16th. I can't tell you how to vote, but please, we want everybody to come out and vote. Come for the next board meeting, you know, maybe and with that, I need a motion to executive session. For the purpose of personnel.
Motion.
Motion by Carrie, second by Dale, all in favor, opposed, and carried. Thank you, everybody, for coming.